Hello, and well, finally they've done it. After 15 years, Blizzard have finally updated the auction house to be much more intuitive and more user-friendly for the standard player so that they can find items that are upgrades, they can sell their items quickly and easily and see all the prices, and overall the whole thing has had a great big overhaul. So let's go have a look at it on the PTR at the moment. Let me just move my camera over so we can see it on this side. So now we have a much cleaner interface, and we have all the standard weapons, armor, containers, gems down the side here, and you have 3 tabs at the bottom: buy, sell and auctions. So we've got a list of some of the things I've currently put on as a test at the moment here, and then in our buy tab we can search for just standard like weapons. We can click on a search here and see everything coming up here with the number available and the prices. We can type in our search for anything we want. We don't have to type in the full name. We can just type in, say, Tide for Tide Spray, and then you can see that here we have Tide Spray Linen available, 704 available, and we can even make this a favorite by clicking on the star, which means that we have our favorites here. And then what that means is when you close the auction house and reopen it, your favorites automatically appear with their prices, so you can quickly see your favorite items in a list here at the front. So already it's really intuitive. We have further filters here where you can look for items in the level range, and these are really useful. Uncollected only, which means for transmog and things like that, and recipes you'll be able to find ones you haven't collected yet. There is upgrades only, which is going to be really useful for if you're just looking for standard bits of equipment just to give yourself a little boost in power. Now this is going to be for the standard player. This isn't going to be someone who min-maxes and knows the best in slot for everything. This is just your average player that's coming along, wants a little item upgrade and can easily search for it on the auction house. So I've got a feeling we're going to see a lot more people using the auction house without the need of add-ons and being able to just quickly list things on for whatever price they think is sensible and being able to buy things relatively quickly and easily. But this does mean quite a few changes. One of the main changes they've done is what Blizzard calls commodities. Anything that comes in stacks. It's basically the principle of stacks is no longer the case. So you wouldn't post something in a stack of 10 or 20 or 5 or singly. You literally just post on the amount you want. Let's take, for example, Gloom Dust. If I click on this to sell some, it actually shows me that there are 3 sellers, including myself, at this price point, 149. 98.99 there are 3 sellers, and then me here at 200. So the aim here is to not have loads and loads of people undercutting by 1 copper. You can see that copper is no longer a thing, and so Blizzard are trying to encourage people to post at the same price, and that will keep the auction house listings much more condensed. Now they've also implemented a last in first out system, which means that if I was to come along and sell mine above someone else, say I put them in here at 98.99, if I put my 44 on top of that group of 98.99, then the next person to come along and buy Gloom Dust would be buying mine first and then the other sellers, and then it will move on down the price point. You can see that if I go onto the buy tab, if I type in here Gloom, you can see the Gloom Dust here, and then if we were to click on here, now I would actually, as a buyer, I'll put in the quantity I want. So say I wanted 100, then you can see we've got highlighted here both the 50 and the 624. So what would happen here is the unit price is actually an averaging out here as 129.59, the total price being 12,959. So it's taken a bit from here and then gone onto this one. So now the auction house is automatically buying the cheapest item first. You no longer have the choice of buying a certain stack of 200 at a higher price, which is great for the user, but it does mean the concept of pretty stacking is no more. So we're going to have to think of more inventive ways of listing our auctions. It does favour posting little and often, so having shorter auction house posting times, and also coming back and cancelling auctions and relisting them on, or even not posting your auctions on all at the same time, but maybe, depending on how fast the market's moving, maybe post 10 on and then wait a little while, post another 10 on, and then so on and so forth. So the behaviour of the standard Goldmaker is going to change to try to accommodate this new system. But overall, I think this is a really good thing, because it means the average player is going to be able to quickly and easily buy the things they want and then move on. So it's a lot more condensed, a lot more streamlined, which I think personally is a good thing, but it does mean we're going to have to adjust to the change in things. So there's no longer bids going on anymore, it is literally just buyouts. And whilst you still can undercut, I could decide to ignore all of these and say, I want to put these on at a bargain price of, say, 90 gold. I can do that, I can just post those on, and then my auction will come on here above the rest, and then the next person to buy them will automatically buy mine first because they're the cheapest, and then they'll move down the list. If someone else to come along and post at 90 gold 99, then they'll go on top of me and therefore effectively block me from those sales until all of those have been sold, and then mine will start coming through next. Or I cancel my auctions and then I go back on top of them. So it does favour camping the auction house if you want to be very competitive with your sales, but that's not really different to how we used to have undercut wars, especially on things like enchants on reset day and things like that, where you would post, cancel and repost quite frequently just to get those extra sales. Then what you have also in the auction tab is you can see all of your auctions here, and say for example you can click on your item here, and where you can see the same price point, if you are above everyone else, like I am in this case, I know that I am still the current best seller at this price point. If I start seeing other people's names appearing above me, then I know they have posted since I have posted, and then I can either cancel and repost, or I can leave them on and wait for theirs to get bought first. So it's still quite intuitive. You can see the expiry times here on the right, and you can look at all of your auctions quite easily and keep a track of them there. You can still use the bidding system, but only on things like equipment. So something like a pattern, I can put a bid price in there for that, or a buyout price. So something that is less frequently sold is able to be posted up in the traditional manner with bids and buyouts. I'm not sure how the concept of sniping is going to work anymore with something like TSM, because there's no longer, if I search for everything, there's no longer a first or last page, and you can't see the time that things are going to expire. So maybe that opportunity of gold making, where you would find those things newly listed or those things about to expire, we may not be able to make use of that anymore, but that just means we'll have to set up shopping operations for things to try and find good prices and do it that way. Personally, I think it's really nice to see them do a real overhaul on the auction house system. I'm looking forward to trying it out. Obviously the makers of the auction house add-ons are going to have to change a lot of the fundamental rules that the tools are based on, because the whole thing has been overhauled and the underlying concepts are now completely different. But as a gold maker, we make gold by trying to understand our buyer and seeing where there are opportunities, and I think this is going to be a really fantastic way of just everyone being able to see the market and be able to make gold wherever they see an opportunity. Something like TSM will still have region price data and historical DB market data to draw upon, so you'll know when something's a good price or a not a good price, whereas the standard player will just see what is on at the moment and have to make an educated guess as to whether they think that's a good price or not. I think it's going to be really nice to see everyone using the auction house a lot more, and I've got a feeling that the volumes of sales are going to increase with this new auction house. I'm really looking forward to it coming out, and I'm looking forward to seeing what opportunities come out as a result. I'm interested to know what you think. Do you think this last in first out system is the best way to do it? I can understand why they've done it rather than the first in first out system, because that would encourage undercuts. So let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Personally, I'm really looking forward to it. So until next time, happy gold making, and I'll see you very soon.